Hi Kurt, nice to meet you. I'm Howard Smith and I've come to interview you.
Hey, it's nice to meet you.
What's your earliest memory?
I don't know, it's hard to say. Well, I remember I was about 3, and my parents were taking me to see this movie.
What was your favorite toy?
My favorite toy was probably a Lego man. My dad got it for me when I was like 7 or 8.
Do you remember your first bicycle?
Yeah, I remember my first bike. My first bike was a Twin that I had when I was 7. I think it was called a Stingray.
How was your childhood?
We grew up in the suburbs of Seattle. Just a typical middle-class American family. I was a horrible student. I was a total failure.
What memories do you have of your parents?
They got divorced when I was 9, which was just when I started to become a real person. You know, it was just something that I really had to get adjusted to. There never was a kind of a loving atmosphere again. I really think I was, the classic example of a child of an alcoholic that was going to repeat. The cycle. They blamed me for my parents' divorce. The thing they always had a problem with was that I wasn't very compliant. But it's like I didn't give a damn about their shit.
What would you like to say to your father?
I guess I'd have to say, I'm sorry about everything.
And to your mother?
I guess I would say, I love you, Mom.
Kurt, there was always the rumor that you were murdered. What do you have to say about that? That's okay, they say you did it to yourself. Is that true?
Yeah.
What do you think of today's society?
Look me in the eyes as I say this to you. The answer for today's world is up to you. Only you have to live with yourself. I have, so can you. I made a bunch of records you've probably never heard of, and I got in trouble constantly. In every record I made, there is something in there that's a cry for help. No one ever called. I would stand up in places like this, and I wouldn't even sing the song, because I thought they were stupid. But it's a cry for help. And though for these, I have 12. Inside myself I'm changing.
What can you tell us about depression?
Depression seems like an emotion that is so overused and thrown so much around. It seems like a lot of people are depressed, and it is a very sad and terrible disease, but it also has this very euphoric side to it. For some people, it makes them more productive. People say they are writing a song. People talk about writing, being sort of down and out. That seems like a real place. If you get down, every once in a while, it might make you write an amazing song. Even though you feel like you'd rather crawl inside a bottle and pull the cork out, you might end up writing a great song. It's like a spark. It's a spark that comes with the emotion of having a huge loss and a huge feeling about life and about who you are and what you do. When you experience all of that emotion for the first time, you get so overwhelmed that it makes you start to think about other things that you never thought of. It's like you can make music from anywhere.
Do you ever feel depressed?
Yeah.
Do you get it when people say, oh, you should be happy now, or don't think about what happened, or don't write that down? Do they have any business telling you that?
I am depressed. Every day is different. It is like the waves of the sea and the ocean. It ebbs and flows. There's a constant change. I never know what's coming around the corner. It's like riding a bike to me.
What advice would you give to today's youth?
I think, it's really difficult, because you can't be what they wanted to be, and you can only do the best that you can. Some people may not like it. Just do it, because everyone else isn't. That's what you want to do.
What song did you like the most of the ones you composed?
I like them all. They're like my children.
How did you compose your songs?
I sit at home and usually wake up with a lyric in my head, and I sit at the guitar, and usually I have chords. I write a lot of verses. I work a lot in sections. There's a melody and a chord pattern. I'll work a new verse in for a while and write that down. Usually 2 of those sections end up in one song, and then after that, it's really trial and error, and I'll hear the song, and if I like it, then I'll fix it all the way up and overdub. And if I really like it, I keep on overdubbing until I find where the song goes, and I try and write out the chords, because it's probably changed, and I write out the song until I'm too tired to work on it anymore. I think of the melody and the chords, and then I work on it in my head like daydream all the time. When I work too late at night, then I'll just sleep on it.
What inspires you to write the songs that you do?
I like the Beatles as well. I like the Beatles and Zeppelin and Sabbath a huge amount. And I like the Stones a lot too. Most of my favorite songs are written in the 60s and 70s. Like, you couldn't get that many hits You couldn't have a new channel of that kind of music, but in the 80s and the 90s, music's gone downhill.
Who were some of your favorite songwriters growing up? Favorite lyricists?
I love John Lennon's music, and any song that he did with Yoko really touched me. They were great to listen to. When I was 13 and 14 years old, all the dumb teenage feelings, and all those things, and the Stooges, that was a big influence. There's so many, just a wide open list of influences. That's why we were able to do the sound we did, I think.
What would you like to say to Dave Grohl?
Thanks for getting back to me. It's just always cool when people respect you in that kind of way.
What do you think of Foo Fighters?
They're the bee's knees.
What would you like to see happen with today's music?
It would be nice to see something original come out of the whole world domination of the three-piece band. I think we all can do better than that. I think there's a lot of great new stuff coming out that's fresh. It's creative and it's real. Some people are worried about the future of rock, but I'm all for change. Rock is one of the most important styles of music. It's just I think in the later part of the 90s at that time, and I just think you have to take some chances. Every now and then, you can't be afraid to try something different, but you have to try to bring across the emotions of the listener.
If you could make music today, what would you try?
Well, I try a lot of different things, a lot of different styles, because I never really feel like I have that final sound, you know.
How would you describe that sound you've been looking for?
I have been trying to find it, you know. All I've been able to really, like trying to be happy, or whatever.
What do you see from afterlife?
There is no afterlife. It's an old song of mine, actually.
Really?
I wanted to change it, but yeah, I don't think there is any afterlife.
Well, Kurt, I wanted to thank you for all the answers you have given us. Would you like to add something else?
I'm not a big speaker. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Thanks, and goodbye, Kurt.
The idea of a dead person talking is kinda creepy. Goodbye.